Ghoulies and Gory Jory Core. I'm here with famous shock rocker Demon Boy here at Club Revolution. So Demon Boy, what are your earliest musical experiences and what was your first instrument?
Well, my first instrument was actually guitar. When I was 13 years old, I started playing guitar. So by the time I was 15, I was actually in my first band. And I actually left home at 15 and went out on the road with my first band and stayed out touring probably for the first 6 to 8 years while I was a teenager. Yeah. So my whole background was being a lead guitar in a glam metal band.
Right. What was that band called?
Skin Tight. There's some stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
There's things.
Well, for people be worried if they look that up, Skin Tight.
No, I actually am really proud of all the work I did. As a matter of fact, I've used some of the songs from Skin Tight, changed the lyrics, but kept some of the music, and they're actually a few Demon Boys. Yeah, they were timeless.
And you're an economist. Wow, look at that. What was your experience like? Did you grow up in a religious household with a band like Demon Boy?
No, not at all. I mean, I did when I grew up. Everybody went to like the Saturday Catechism, they called it, in the Catholic school. But the minute you didn't have to do it, like it was kind of required if you were going to the Catholic church. The minute they said that you didn't absolutely have to go, me and one of my cousins who were going actually just left the whole thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't really my thing.
No. What about what was your high school experience like?
Horrible.
What bands were you into? Why were you picked on as a kid?
Yeah. For the days that I came up, you had the jocks, you had the nerds, you had the heads. I was one of the heads. I had the long hair and got constantly.
You proudly still have.
Yeah, constantly got bothered by the jocks, and that taught me to be a little scrappy dude. I'm like a little dude, but I used to get into so many fights that it toughened me up, and I'll fight anybody.
Right. You mentioned before about the '70s band Angel and Frank Domino.
Frank Domino.
Talk more about that and about that band's inspiration and contribution to Demon Boy.
Number one on my list as far as the inspiration.
Yeah.
Frank Domino has one of the best voices in rock and hard rock, and I fell in love with the theatrical show that they had on. Punky Meadows was an awesome guitar player who I was very into. I was into the look with the hair, the glam, the outfits. I was always into, if you were in a band, you should be theatrical and you should wear stage outfits.
Right.
Not put your street clothes on and walk on stage like you're in your garage.
Give the audience their money's worth.
Right. Now, I've always been like that. So Angel's influence on me and Frank Domino's style. See, when I was growing up listening to Angel, my friends were listening to The Who, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. I steered away from the mainstream and I went into the weird stuff. So like Angel, I was even into the Ramones when the Ramones was still an underground band in New York. Not many people knew who they were. I was into a band called Stars. Used to play Angel a lot.
Wow.
You know, if you go back and look at this, these guys are very underrated, especially Angel and Frank Domino. He went on. He's on tour right now. They kind of regrouped with Punky Meadows a little bit, and I met him in Vegas. It was really great. I met him probably 4 or 5 years ago, and to me it was like I felt like I was 13 years old all over again, meeting the guy that basically started me on my path. And his singing style, while I don't sing like Frank, it's just certain things and things he used.
Nuances.
Nuances, exactly, that I incorporated into my style of singing. Because I don't consider myself a great singer. I consider myself having a style. Oh yeah, showman number one. I'm a born entertainer.
Right.
I can just get up on stage and wing it. And that's what I like to do best. A lot. My band likes to rehearse a lot. I actually don't even like to rehearse.
No.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm better once I get on the stage and the lights go on. I just go.
So you're running on pure instinct.
Pretty much, and that's how I prefer to do it.
What's the philosophy of Demon Boy? Is he an extension of, or is it the band an extension of your personality?
In certain ways, yes. Demon Boy is known as the Black Angel.
Right.
We have the comic book series, so he's the Black Angel in the comic book series. Where
read it.
Yeah, read it, buy it. Go to demonboyband.com.
Buy my stuff!
Basically, he worked at the gates of heaven, and he was sort of like a bouncer where he flew souls in between heaven and hell, bringing souls to hell or bringing souls to heaven. So the whole comic book is based on that. So Demon Boy, the stage character, is a little bit of that, and I'm very different from what people think. People see the pictures and maybe think Demon Boy's black metal or death metal, and we're not. We're basically a hard rock band that touches a little bit on metal. And I feel it's very different. It's just like one of my major influences, Alice Cooper. You know, Alice Cooper's a little bit of everything too. He's
Yes.
hard rock, he's metal. So when people say, I don't even know what to call your music, I go, well, that's because it's our music and it's just its own thing, just like Alice Cooper. So it doesn't really fit into a genre.
Right.
We cross genres. And we've played hardcore shows, punk rock shows, metal shows,
Goth
death shows, goth shows. And the audience just seems to relate to us, and we win over all the audiences.
Right.
So basically, we're just an all-around, entertaining party rock band.
What about you just shot recently your new single "My Coffin"
Yeah.
at the Chamber of Horrors in Hop Hop? What was that experience like?
That was awesome. We had my friend Frankenberg, Robert Frankenberg, helped direct it. My cameraman Joe S. We had Michael, who's sitting across our way over there. He was on set. Michael's at every one of our shows. He's great. It was a great experience. Again, we pumped out another one of our fast-moving videos. Like our first video was Ravenous, and everything about us is high energy. So the My Coffin video is the same thing. And surprisingly, and I've only gotten one comment asking me, where's the coffin? There's not even a coffin in the video. But it was more about the energy of the song,
right.
And we went a little bit more macabre on this. We went a little bit more bloody
Definitely.
and gorier in this
A little
one.
more
which-
industrial sounding, more hard.
yeah, there's a little bit of
Yeah.
keyboards in the beginning and things like that. We haven't done any keyboards on a track since Party to the Grave off the debut album, but people seem to like that. And like where we're sitting tonight is an industrial night,
Right.
and here we are on the bill.
What about your songwriter Rich Orth,
Rich
the
Orth.
dark poet? Talk about him and his importance with the band.
When I first met Rich, we met all the way back in the MySpace days, believe it or not. Yeah. And then I started noticing he was a dark poet, and I started reading his poetry, and I took about 5 of his poems, and I pulled out stuff, and I wrote a song called Cemetery Girl. And I said, I hope you don't mind, but I didn't use one poem. I used like 4 poems, and I took out things that I liked because I could sing the lines. Because reading poetry is one thing, but being able to sing it and keep your cadence with the singing was different. So he got so happy that I did that I started throwing ideas at him. I'd come up with an idea for a song. Like we did Zombie Dance, and I said, here's the. I give him the theme, I give him the title and the theme, and then I write the hooks and the choruses, the catchy parts.
And he runs
And
with it.
I let him. I go, you fill in the blanks, the lyrics. Give me the story, because he's such a good story writer.
Right.
He's really into Edgar Allan Poe and a real good dark poet. And we just clicked. So kind of like Bernie Taupin and Elton John. You know, I go to him for everything. If I have a brain fart on lyrics, I go to Rich and I go, look, I need something here. Or I just allow him to write the entire song. Like this Halloween, the entire song, with the exception of the chorus, again, was written by Rich Orth. And on the upcoming album that's going to hopefully be out by the end of the year, although it's been taking a long time for Wrong Side of the Grave to come out, we'll feature about 5 new songs written by Rich and I.
So the band has a very horror-heavy, visual style.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of blood, lots of fangs, lots of
Yep.
bat wings. Is there ever are there plans in the future to maybe possibly add more to that aesthetic, like dark sci-fi or fantasy?
One of the things I've been being asked now for years was, why don't I take the comic book and turn it into a live show? So I see Demon Boy as a Broadway play
Right.
or theater. Each song has a performance in it, and so each song is a mini story. So what we're going to probably do, because right now we do things like Little Red Riding Bitch, where we do the whole Little Red Riding
Right.
Hood type of
Got
deal.
the
We have
werewolf
the
and
wolf
everything,
and Little
right.
Red. And we have Cemetery Girl, we put on a gothic wedding, and we do all of these things. So yeah, I think we're eventually in the next few years going to up it one more and take stories inside the comic book, and I'll specifically write songs to go with those scenes. And then we're thinking about doing a split show where we maybe come out and then take a 30-minute break and then come back out and perform the comic book. Or I might just go off and do some special shows that are basically just specializing and highlighting the stories in the comic book to live music.
You've contributed to the German horror film Cannibal Diner.
Oh yeah.
Should we keep our eyes peeled and our ears peeled for any DB tracks appearing in future films?
Yeah, I've actually, Cannibal Diner was my best one to date because the film really took off and has a very good underground following. It did very well in Germany, so well that the directors told me that when they would go to movie film festivals, people would come up to them and go, where's the guy, Demon
Right.
Boy, that did the songs in the movie? So I was really happy to work with them, and I have been featured in a movie called Killers, and several, I was in Jacko Slasher used some of my stuff. That's Jennifer Valdez's movie. Party of the Grave was in that. So I've done several soundtracks. I just haven't done one in probably about 3 years. But I think my music is tailor-made for horror films.
Very filmic.
So one of the things I'm trying to do is license a lot of my music, because as the industry is today, it's very hard to make money doing shows. I actually lose money doing a live show, but the way to make money is by licensing out the music. So I'm looking to get some more television, maybe a television show that might use one of my songs as their theme song and things like that. We've been asked in the past if we should write a song for a wrestler to come out to.
I love that.
You know, maybe when Gravedigger was around, you know, they would,
Party to the Grave. There you go.
If they came out, because again, if you know my music, if not, go to DemonBoyBand.com.
Do it.
Our stuff is very high energy, and it's tailor-made. So if you're into the macabre and you're into Halloween and you're into horror, we're just right perfectly lined up for that.
Given the band's cult film style and quality of the music, have you ever thought of possibly directing a movie like Rob Zombie has done?
Well, the one thing I've been asked for a long time is that, why aren't you making a Demon Boy movie? And I got approached by a gentleman. His name is Ken. I'm not going to give away his name is actually Ken Willis. If you don't know who he is, Ken Willis wrote the original Blade movie for Marvel, and he's the one that brought it to Marvel. Then you got to remember, before the superhero movies took off,
Blade was the first one.
Blade was the first
it
one.
It made a lot of money.
That's when they did Spider-Man.
And X-Men.
Everybody did Spider-Man was first,
No.
and it wasn't. It was the Blade movie. So this gentleman found me, and he asked me to mail him a couple of my comic books. And he said, because I want to look at your comic books, and I want to script them for a movie. So we started working with him a little while ago, but then he got hired out by Disney Studios, and he kind of didn't have the time to stay on the project. But the lights went off, and what he said to me was, I think Demon Boy could be the next Crow franchise. And all the lights went off. So we actually have some test scripts written. So if anybody was interested in making a Demon Boy movie, we already have the premise down and what the basic story could be, and then people could take our mini script and then elaborate it into a film.
Right. Very nice. Why is horror so marketable, and why has the world that the band has created, the sound world, struck a chord with so many people?
You know, vampires were popular for the longest time, even through the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
The whole vamp clubs got popular in the 80s.
Fright Night, Lost Boys.
Yeah, because of Lost Boys and all that. Then, in about 2009, I predicted that zombies would be the next big thing. 3 years later, they were.
Walking Dead.
Now, zombies are the new vampires. You know, vampires are now here, and now zombies are here. And then horror just took off and became mainstream and became the number one genre. And then it just branched out, and then horror. Now, horror is so big. When in years like in the early 2000s and late 1990s, Halloween almost went away. People were forgetting about Halloween, but now look, Halloween's become bigger than Christmas. So for guys like me, that is a great thing, because it just opened up so many doors and opened up a world where I can go and put myself on any stage.
You performed last year at the Bram Stoker Film Fest in England at Whitby, which is where part of Dracula, the novel, takes place.
Exactly.
And you're going back in fall.
We're hoping to be back there in the fall. Still working on the tour dates. We did so well in England, and we were received so well that we have to go back. The fans over there just went rabid for us. I had a great time over there. I can't wait to go back. The Bram Stoker International Film Festival was a great honor to be at. Yes, it was done. The castle where Bram Stoker lived is where he wrote the novel. So they celebrate him with this film festival. And a lot of people told me, this is your first time to England, and you're playing this. They said, do you understand what an honor that is to have been brought over from the United States to play this? When I got there, I realized it. But they welcomed us with open arms, and I couldn't have been happier as how that went.
Very nice. So next year will mark 10 years of DB shocking the airways. You guys debuted in 2009.
Yeah, wow, it's been that long?
Sorry to bring that up. You still look great. Any anniversary plans?
No, I don't think about it like that. Yeah, I don't think about it. All I do is I think about each year outdoing what I did last year. I get bored very easily, and I get bored with myself very easily. So I always want to change things and just keep upping the game and upping the game.
After so many years of dressing up as this character, How has that affected you as a person?
It is very taxing on me and very stressful and causes a lot of anxiety because it comes with a lot of responsibility. And to speak about, like this past few years, we've had a lot of suicides and deaths in the music industry, and people think, well, how can this person who's doing very well and has a lot of money, why would they kill themselves? And I can tell you from being in the industry that it's the responsibility and it's the anxiety that everybody is relying on you or waiting on you. That can really weigh on some people's conscience. And it does get to me. And I have had my anxiety moments and my panic attacks, and it happens before every show. I have 2 days of panic attacks, believe it or not. I might seem very calm on stage about it and everything, but that's because I'm doing my character, and it's my stage persona, so I can't really let the public see most of that. But I can tell you there are plenty of times where the weight of the responsibility, where everybody needs to talk to me and I have to keep my eyes on everybody and everything. I don't have a personal assistant. I have a manager, but they don't really stand up for me or stand in for me. I prefer to be handling things and know what everybody's doing. So it's like I create my own hell in a way. So that part of it, and it's been getting to me lately. That's why this is our first show after a year, believe it or not, first live show. Well, we did do Rhode Island a couple weeks ago, so we're back doing shows again. But the reason I had to step back from doing shows was the anxiety that I was suffering from, and it was causing my mind to warp a little bit. Yeah, I'm dealing with it.
You are. You're here, right?
Yeah, I'm here tonight. Yeah.
If you weren't doing Demon Boy, what would you be doing?
Probably producing videos and producing bands. I like finding young talent, and I love giving them the wisdom of my years in the business, steering them in the right direction to watch out for pitfalls. So I'd probably be doing something in that aspect.
And you also have, aside from that, you also have a video editing company.
Yeah, I do. All the videos are produced by my own company with my manager, Joe S. And we'll make all of our own videos. And the way I make some, money on the side is by doing infomercials and TV commercials and other bands' videos and things of that nature.
What are the different sides of Demon Boy?
Oh boy.
Emotionally, mentally, what are the different sides of Demon Boy?
Well, it's really strange because when I get on stage, you get a little bit. You get the badass guy, then you get the comedian. I get a lot of people going, I had no idea there was so much comedy in your show. And that's because I don't take myself seriously. I take it seriously as an art form, but I am not so, caught up that I'm Demon Boy and blah, blah. You know what I mean? When I see people acting like that, I kind of think, come on, you're
too method.
You're a little regular person like
Right.
everybody else, and you're wearing a costume. I consider myself an actor and an entertainer. So when I created Demon Boy, it's exactly what I did. I created a character who I portray. Yes, there are nuances that are part of my personality that I put in there, but when I go home, I'm pretty much just like everybody else.
You covered everything from Miley Cyrus's "Fly on the Wall"
Yes.
to XTC's
yeah.
"Dear God."
My first single.
What other songs would you like to take a crack at?
I have a few. There's a Susie Quattro song
We're going
called
back.
Devil Gate Drive, and I first saw it on Happy Days, and that's a song I want to cover. I also want to cover from the movie Bachelor Party. There's a song in there called, I think it's called Little Devil. I want to cover that song as well. Now, I pride myself on taking these obscure songs. Like when I did the Miley Cyrus song, I showed everybody, they were like, Miley Cyrus. I said, you don't understand. If I play this song my way, it's going to be something special.
Right.
And that's what Fly on the Wall came out to be. So those two I just mentioned, there are a few that I'm going to got them on my hot plate right now.
Where can we find your music?
DemonBoyBand.com is my main hub. From there, you can branch out. I literally have about 45 websites all over the world because I have websites in Japan, I have websites in Russia, I have websites in Germany, and each little country's got their own versions of Facebook, like BK is the Russian one. But you go to DemonBoyBand.com and all the hot links to every one of my pages are there.
So, since tonight is Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
who would win in a fight, Demon Boy or Jason Voorhees?
Demon Boy.
Right?
Yeah.
He would actually be a good addition to the band,
He's immortal, I'm immortal.
right?
Yeah.
As a bouncer, maybe. You could kill your critics. There you go.
God, that would be
Right.
great.
Thank you, Demon Boy, for taking the time out of your busy and murderous schedule. And I hope you break some legs tonight.
Oh, we're gonna break more than that.